when I'm not feeling extremely intimidated by being the second most famous YouTuber on my own couch, I like to answer questions that I get on YouTube. So I have the distinct pleasure of having Michelle, better known as the Guitar Goddess, on the channel this week.
Hey, what's up?
Michelle, I'm honored that you're here.
Thank you.
Killer YouTuber, got a ton of song tutorials, a lot of amazing content on her channel. I'm going to link you to below. Also, she is incorporating some of the finer points of my channel on her own, namely
salty blues comments.
As you can imagine, she gets a lot of, well, not salt. You don't get a lot of salty blues comments.
No, not those.
But you get some very disturbing comments.
Pretty mildly or more so disturbing comments.
Yeah, incredibly disturbing from what I've seen. So she kind of needed some help.
Yeah.
Kind of walking through the pathway.
You're like my mentor in
yeah,
this
kind of like
journey.
a Sherpa.
Yeah.
How like, you know, people climb Mount Everest. I'm kind of like that Sherpa that just takes you to the top.
Yeah.
So we're going to be reading some very disturbing comments from people on the internet. So I don't know.
I'm kind of scared. But...
So that video is not going to be up at the time of this airing, but I will link you below, and she's going to be in some other stuff too.
Yeah.
So stay tuned for the Guitar Goddess. I hear a lot of Elliott Smith in this song. What's your influences? Love the song, by the way, man. Good job. So this is in relation to the acoustic songs I've been posting, which are just kind of like acoustic reworks of the Parador album that I released at the first of the year. And I'm getting a lot of cool feedback on it, so I appreciate you guys listening. And I'm definitely going to try to do the whole album, even though some of them are kind of tricky to arrange for acoustic guitar. But I accept the challenge, and I'm looking forward to what you guys think. My influences definitely... Elliott Smith. I mean, that's like such a huge compliment to me because Elliott Smith is kind of like the reason that I play guitar, for sure. So he is 100% an enormous influence. Radiohead obviously is another big one. And honestly, I feel comfortable enough to say that Jack Johnson is a big enough influence on my playing that I can definitely hear it in the acoustic stuff too. So definitely, again, as always, I appreciate the love and the feedback on all the songs, and I will keep them coming. Could you do a video on recording and audio interfaces and mics? So I've been saying I'm going to do recording videos for a long time now, and I just need you guys to keep me honest on this. I definitely want to start doing more recording videos because I think they can be super helpful, and I've learned a lot and wasted a lot of money over the years just kind of like learning the ins and outs of it. So I'm going to do my best to start cranking out a few intro to recording videos, and if I don't, start flaming me in the comments until I get those up. I need you guys to kind of keep me motivated on this. Otherwise, I just kind of like lose my focus and motivation. So please, help me help you. This is absolutely pathetic guitar playing. It's funny how it's the most pathetic of videos that get the most views. It just goes to show you how pathetic people are. I would school this clown on guitar. So this is a fantastic addition to the Salty Blues comment of the week, and there are a few reasons that I really like this one. Not to mention the continuous use of the word pathetic 3 separate times in a 4-sentence comment. But also too, I think the fact that I pulled this comment off of like an introductory how to strum a guitar video is by far my favorite part of this comment. To like, it's just like the perfect example of the guitar player ego, where, you know, maybe you're feeling pretty good about yourself. So you're looking at like a beginner's down, 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 up strumming video and just be like, yeah, I could take that guy. I can strum way better than that. And then try to like flame him on the internet. It's fantastic. I love it. I appreciate the confidence that you have, and you probably could school me a guitar. That's fine. I'm not even hating it. That's just a fantastic addition to the Salty Blues comment pantheon. Thank you very much. Hey Sean, I have a question. I play guitar for 2 years now and really enjoy it, but the most annoying thing that is bugging me is that I keep forgetting parts of songs that I learned. Do you have any idea how I can remember songs that I learn? This is something that every guitar player goes through, and I have forgotten probably 100 times more songs than I currently know. And I think there's a couple different things that you can do if it's really bothering you. But first of all, don't let it bother you if you can, because learning a song, like there's so much that goes into learning a song that even if you eventually down the road forget how to play that song, like the act of learning that song at one time has helped you to get better and just increase your musicianship in the first place. So it's not like a waste if you kind of forget songs, because it'll always be easier the second time if you try to pick it up. Another thing that I found helped me was I actually had like a printout binder of like the songs I really, really wanted to know. And even if it's just like, even if it's not like a tab and if it's just the chords, having like the chords in like a binder kind of always would like trigger my hands to kind of get to how to play a song, even if it wasn't just chords. Just kind of like getting in the right direction always kind of helped me out a little bit. And I think there's also something too to having like a physical binder as compared to like just maybe putting it on like an iPad or a phone or a tablet or something like that. So I'm definitely a huge proponent of having the binder. Plus, it's just kind of cool to have a binder around. You can decorate it like a trapper keeper from back in junior high. But really, the most important thing is to learn music theory, because once you kind of have a grasp of how different chord progressions work and what your options are, it kind of consolidates in your brain where you can possibly be going. So, for instance, like say you know the first chord in a song that you're trying to remember, and it's like G major, and you know that you're in the key of G. Instead of being like, what was that next chord, you can just kind of cycle through and be like, was it the 2 chord? Was it A minor? Was it the 3 chord? Was it B minor? Was it the 5 chord? Was it D? Was it the 4 chord? Was it C? Oh, like there it is. And then once you kind of like are able to limit your options, I feel like it's a better, more practical way to have your muscle memory be able to take over and start to refresh your memory, because at one time you did know that song really well. So this is kind of like a good refresher to kind of get your hands going in the right place. And another really helpful tip that I like to do is to kind of take a set list almost, and like maybe like your core group of songs that you want to know, and always kind of work them into some kind of practice routine, whether it's once a week, once a month, whatever you feel that you can kind of achieve. Because I've had songs that like were cornerstones in my repertoire, so to speak, and like I knew them like the back of my hand, like my favorite songs ever, and then maybe I wouldn't practice them for a few months or whatever, and you know I'd be somewhere and someone would ask if I could play it, and I'm like, oh, I know that song, that's like my favorite song, I can do it. And then I go to play it, and I hadn't played it in a few months, and even though I know the song so well, I will totally space and forget it and be incredibly embarrassed and just look like a total fool. So definitely, even if there's songs that you feel you have down, always try to work those into some kind of like at least monthly practice routine just to kind of keep them fresh. So doing that in combination with like having a binder or some kind of reference, like whether it be on your phone or on a computer or a tablet, and then just like using like a musical theory backbone to kind of help your hands recall that muscle memory, I think is a great way. But again, like I said, above all else, don't get discouraged when you forget how to play a song, because I know, you know, I've been there, man. I remember the feeling that like I forget how to do something that I practice, and it just almost kind of, it feels like defeating that you put all this work into something and then you forget how to do it. But again, it's not about that. It's about that song helping you get to like the next plateau, the next echelon, and always be pushing forward. The next time you learn it, it's going to be way easier to do. Very cool to dig into the process. So you're bringing in the real drums last or sticking with the native generated ones while you do a mixing video? So this is in relation to the songwriting series I've been doing with Ian, which we're finally getting into the tracking of, and I kind of talked about how I like to make a just kind of like a generic drum track to kind of use as a musical metronome. Sometimes in songs I've kept that, but normally what I do is I try to like replace those with live drums. But since I'm such like a drum poser and a guitar player first, I kind of like getting the guitars in there first and then kind of tracking the drums to the guitars once they've already been synced to on the track, which a lot of people say that's totally backwards, but I don't know, it seems to work for me. I'm definitely planning on doing a mixing series for that too, and that'll probably be part of the whole thing, so definitely stay tuned for that as well. What do you think of Tommy Emmanuel? I feel like there's some conspiracy around him with you and Ian. Every time I bring him up in the comment section and in the live streams, it goes unanswered, whereas you guys are usually pretty good with responding to things. So if you saw the last live stream I did with Ian, we kind of both admitted we didn't really know who Tony Emmanuel was, just kind of proving our ignorance. Which, now that we kind of familiarize ourselves with him, super disrespectful on my part, because the guy's essentially like the greatest fingerstyle guitar player in the history of the universe. And now I have a little bit of Tommy Emmanuel under my belt, so to speak. I think he's fantastic. He's amazing. It's crazy that I went so long without ever listening to him. His arrangements are creative yet still faithful to the original, and you should definitely check some out. In fact, I'm going to link you to a TED Talk that he did, which is really kind of like a cool behind the scenes kind of enlightening way about him describing his process about treating how he arranges these songs with the idea of a full band intact, where maybe like his thumb is just kind of like handling the bass guitar and certain fingers are doing different melodies and stuff like that. So definitely check out that TED Talk. He shreds it like he always does in some of these videos. And as always, if you have any questions, please hit me up in the comment section, Twitter, Instagram, or the website, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks a lot.